See, their morals, their code, it's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
So let me set this up slightly for those coming in totally new to the controversy. For a long time, Jessi was associated with Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotic as a part of this larger movement called the Fandom Menace. And essentially, she did act really explicitly as a kind of symbol to ward off charges of sexism. And apparently, a big incident happened in Las Vegas. Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotic essentially held a couple events in Las Vegas, sort of like these meet and greet things for fans and for other supporters of theirs. Now, I want to stress that this is more of a Nerdrotic thing than Geeks and Gamers because, as Jessi will tell us, Jeremy, it seems, actually did act friendly to her, but then a big incident happened between her and Gary. So then now we're going to let her speak in detail what happened.
Something that happened over the weekend in Las Vegas at the fan meetup. And before I do, I just want to say that I did reach out to Gary from Nerdrotic to see if he'd like to submit a statement for me to read along with what I have to say so that I could represent his perspective.
Yeah, this isn't like a court case, Jessi. Statement.
As well, but at this time he has not responded. So Jeff and I went out to the Millennium Fandom Barn on Thursday night in Vegas for the fan meetup, and we went because we knew a lot of our fans were going to be there, and you know, we were really excited to see them and interact with them, and we had a really wonderful time on Thursday. Jeremy came right up, gave me a big old hug, and it was just great. It was awesome. This is a meetup. It was sponsored by Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotic, and you know, we obviously have a lot of crossover in that audience, and so we had an amazing time just with fellow YouTubers and fans and all of that. And over the next couple of days, we had, you know, more great times and received no indication from anybody that or Gary himself that there was any issue or problem with us having been there on Thursday. And so we were really excited to return on Saturday and see everybody again. We did. We came in, walked in the room. I smiled at this beautiful woman with this incredible, like, blue, sparkly eye makeup on. Well, it turns out that was Gary's wife, and she came over to me a few minutes later to tell me that it was incredibly rude that we had shown up on Thursday and that we weren't welcome and to get the fuck out. At that time, we had fans literally coming over to us asking us to sign things, so we were there for the fans, so we you know, kept signing some things. And then Gary came over and he got right in my face and he yelled at me in the middle of the room that this was an event for his fans and that I wasn't welcome and I needed to leave.
Get out.
And when I pointed out that a lot of his guests are also my fans, he said that if I didn't leave, that he would get the owner and have me removed. So I left. So we left. Spent a lot of...
Jessi, why are you crying? I'm sure this is not the first time that somebody's come in and said, look, if you don't leave, I'm going to tell the owner.
Great. Still had, you know, but people there who wanted to see us, so we spent some time outside talking with the fans. I actually met a lot of really great Nerdrotic fans that I didn't even know before. I had a really great conversations with them. Spent some wonderful time in the bar with our other YouTuber friends, and I just I don't understand. I don't get it. Gary wouldn't give me an explanation, and
he doesn't
I'm
like
still
you.
Trying to understand what happened and why.
Now, that laughing you heard is from Patriot Hut, and that's what I'm taking the video from. Patriot Hut has done a very good job kind of being a watchdog about the Fandom Menace. And the reason he's laughing a little bit is because Jessi does have a kind of twisted history, because there was another time she got into a bit of a scuffle at a sports bar where she was making fun of some sports fan, but one of the fans was the bar owner, and she was forced to leave the bar. So I want to be careful that, yes, Jessi herself has been found guilty of sort of gatekeeping, demonizing people, and her record is itself very mixed. Still, it's really hard to avoid the charge of hypocrisy, because Nerdrotic, as well as Jeremy, have been avid supporters of Gina Carano. And if you know their line, it's that We support strong, independent women, unlike Disney, unlike Warner Brothers, unlike Hollywood. We tolerate strong, independent women, and they often push these women in the front when they need to ward off charges of sexism. And yet here, apparently, they don't really believe with their own rhetoric. We don't know everything, right? There's a lot of missing information. But as Jessi says, she did reach out to Gary to clarify. And as far as I know, he hasn't really said anything on the controversy. So it looks pretty bad. But devil's advocate, she did later go on to sort of use this to make some money on super chats and things like that. So you can kind of do a kind of plague on all houses kind of stance. And I agree. I mean, this is getting more and more silly by the minute in terms of all these personalities. But again, I do think relatively Jessi, at least so far as we know, is more the victim than the other people here. Because again, it's hard to know what exactly triggered this or why they wanted to kick her out. But apparently a lot of what they're talking about, we tolerate all fans, we're welcome to all fans, and there's nothing wrong with the movement in terms of it being male dominated. Well, Jessi has exposed that's a complete lie. So I think it's valuable in that respect. Thanks for listening.